Hello, thank you. We are live, I think. Yes, thank you for watching my very first live attempt here on YouTube. So if you are watching this live, you can make any question or comment in the section and I will try to answer. If you are watching this in the recorded version later, you can please comment also where you're from, if you're planning to visit Sri Lanka, or if you have questions, and I will reply to them later. So, okay, the last 3 videos that I posted here about travel routes to Sri Lanka, it really extreme much feedback and question on those things. The problem is the rules at that time, they changed like overnight. Just in a couple of weeks, the rules changed 3 times. So it was really confusing for people. That's why people had so many questions. I understand it is still a bit confusing. So I have a long list of questions that I already received. If you have other questions that I'm not answering in this video, of course, just comment and I will try to also get into that. Okay, so first I just want to go through what is the exactly requirements right now to travel to Sri Lanka. So if you are vaccinated, then it is actually quite easy. I like to say like doors are wide open for you. There is not any PCR testing or quarantine after you arrive Sri Lanka. But a lot of people are still a little bit confused how you can get the visa. So I just want to go through that also. So if you are fully vaccinated, this is the exact procedure you can do to come to Sri Lanka right now. You can do pretty much things like normal. Your step 1 will be to get an airplane ticket. Your step 2 will be to get a hotel booking for at least for the first night. And then your third step only should be to get the visa. And there is only one official webpage, that is the government, the immigration office page. I will put a link to that in the description later. So make sure you use the correct page. Oh, wow, now we have someone live here saying good morning. I need to answer. Good morning, Chintaka. Good morning. Nice to see someone here. I'm just starting to explain the rules that are right now. Step 1, book a flight. Step 2, book 1 night at least. For example, here in beautiful Hikkaduwa if you want. And then when you apply for the visa, you need to have your vaccination certificate and the details about your flight and your hotel. And you will have no problem to get the visa. Actually, now it will be approved within a few hours. If you are waiting more than 2-3 days, I read someone is waiting now 20 days, that means something is wrong. So you definitely need to look into that. If everything is correct with your visa application, you should have it within hours. And then you can wait until just before you travel. You need to take 1 PCR test, like in the time gap within 72 hours before your first flight departure. You need to take a PCR test that is, of course, negative. So when you go to the airport, then you have to bring all documents. Sri Lanka, they like paper printed documents of your flight ticket, of your vaccination card, or printed e-form, depending what your country's requirements are. Print also the hotel booking just to have everything, and print also your visa and your negative test result. Plus, you need to print a health declaration form that you should fill out in advance. It will save you a lot of time there. So links to all of these details where you can find the health declaration form also in the description. Did I remember all? I just need to double check my notes. Health declaration form, vaccination card, negative test result, print of your visa, print of your flight. Yes, and I would also book in advance a driver that can meet you in the airport and take you directly to that first hotel of your choice. Probably if you contact the hotel, they will help you with a reliable, good driver. So you are good to go. Okay, so I will start on answering the question. If you are watching live, you can also just put a question there and I will try to answer also on the go. So the first question I get from so many people contacting me here on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, is about the children. So this vaccination for fully vaccinated parents to travel with kids. So the answer is if your child is from 0 to 11 years, less than 12 years, doesn't matter if they are not vaccinated. They will follow you. If you are fully vaccinated, they can also come without any testing, without any quarantine and follow you. If they are 12 and above, like 12 to 17, then you have two options. Option one is to get them vaccinated. Option two is you can travel with them, but they need to actually take a PCR test after arrival. This is done at the brand new fancy testing center in Bandaranaike Airport, and it will be done, they are promising within 3 hours, all should be good and you're ready to go. And no quarantine for that child, of course. They follow you to your selected hotel and you travel independently and free. Okay? And I got a question about unvaccinated people. The rules are totally different. They are following more the old program with the quarantine kind of level 1 hotels. Now it's been reduced to 7 nights. So you need to stay 7 nights at a level 1 hotel. The big question is, I think, should you travel right now if you're not vaccinated? I don't have the answer. It's up to you about risk for Sri Lanka, risk for you and everything. You have to, I'm not here to judge anyone, but as I can see, the rules are at least much easier if you are fully vaccinated. And remember, your vaccination needs to be done before 2 weeks, complete before 2 weeks before entering Sri Lanka. I also got a lot of questions about people who had only, for example, 1 shot and are still not fully vaccinated. So the thing is, they have to wait until they are completely vaccinated. Okay, we had someone live here. Hello, hello. You can comment if you want. Where are you from? So also a lot of people have questions about what to do before they travel back home after the holiday in Sri Lanka. Do they need to get tested then? And that question is actually up to your country, the country you are going to, like Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka Tourism, Sri Lanka authorities. They don't have any rules that you need a test or anything to travel out of the country. So you need to check, first of all, the requirements of your country. Do you need to show a negative PCR test, or do you need to go to quarantine when you arrive in your home country? This is the things you have to check, and you need to also double check with the airline if they require a negative PCR test. And third, you should also consider maybe you should do a test before you leave your holiday in Sri Lanka, just to make sure you are not a person that can spread the virus on a plane, which is a really confined space where it's hard to keep distance. Or maybe it will give you like a relief if you could do a test before you leave Sri Lanka. Up to you. Yeah, and people also ask a lot of questions about how to do a PCR test in Sri Lanka. The test center in Colombo are supposed to do it. I didn't find a confirmation if they do it. But if they cannot do it anyway, you wouldn't have to go to Colombo or Negombo and stay there a few days before just to do a test. What you can do, if you, for example, spend your last 3 days in Hikkaduwa, like a lot of people do, relaxing on the beach, you can talk to the private hospitals here nearby in Gaul, And they also actually have the service to come to the hotel and test you there. Just this one, you can just wait until you are here, you talk to your hotel. I'm sure they will help you to arrange your test before flight. Most of the hotels give the test results within 24 hours, so you are safe to fly. Okay, if you're watching live and have a question, just ask. If you are watching this in a recorded mode, please, you can consider to subscribe so you don't miss the next live. Okay, and another question I have been asked hundreds of times lately. Is it safe to travel to Sri Lanka right now? I would say yes. I do recommend traveling to Sri Lanka right now, both to customers, both to my family and friends. That means I believe it's safe, but only if you are a responsible traveler. It's not like it's not COVID in Sri Lanka. There are more than 600 cases only yesterday. There are still COVID going on in your home country, probably in most of Europe and also here. So this is not a time to like, yoo-hoo, go on holiday, forget everything about COVID and don't care about any regulation. If you are that kind of person, we don't want you here, actually. But if you want to go on a holiday and follow guidelines and be responsible, I do believe it's safe to travel to Sri Lanka. What you have to do is you need to try to keep distance the same like you are doing in your home country also. At this time, I would not recommend to go on public buses, go on train. The trains are also still not operating. It's supposed to start operating next week. We will see. Time will show. I don't trust anything before I see it. But me, this is my personal opinion. I do not recommend traveling by public transport at this time. I do recommend that you get a driver and a car, a good, you can check TripAdvisor or you can check different pages to find a good, really responsible and reliable driver, and that makes it easier for you to not have to be very close to a lot of people. In shops, going in the street, entering restaurants, also you need to wear the face mask. Still in Sri Lanka, that is the rule, and I follow the rules. Sri Lankans, most people follow the rules, and you as a tourist also should follow the rules. But that meaning also, if, for example, at our hotel, guests don't use a face mask when they're in a swimming pool or when they are going for a beach walk. What I say, if you go for a beach walk, it's very easy to keep social distance right now because there are few people. Just bring the face mask, put it on your arm while you are walking on the beach. If you should come into a situation where you cannot distance yourself, then you can put it on. Because it's so warm in here, it's very hard to go with the face mask on the beach. But any situation where you cannot keep like a few meters distance, you should wear a face mask. I have a comment here from Andrew. He's landing in Sri Lanka on Saturday morning. I'm so happy to hear that. Welcome to Sri Lanka. Is it your first time here? Then I think you will really love it. Let me know. Okay, that was all about the responsibility, or was it? Social distancing, face mask, don't travel public transport, and don't go like all crazy. Do what you have been doing in home, like keeping responsibility, do what you can to not cause any risk at other people and yourself. And about the train and the buses also, I have thousands of questions, especially about the train. The buses are usually also not so much recommended for tourists to travel, depending on your budget and everything, of course. But buses here are quite, how to say it, uncomfortable, risky. I hope I'm not offending anyone by saying that. That's my opinion. Trains are, however, usually very recommended. It's a very nice way of transportation, especially in the beautiful highlands. It's such a nice train ride between Ella and Nurelia, or Ella and all the way to Kandy. So some people are like freaking out that the trains are not going right now. So I understand that. But also remember, should the trains not start to go now in November and December as planned, you can also go on a beautiful round tour with the driver. And the roads are going like the same areas as the train. You can stop wherever you want. You can take beautiful photos and you can have just as good as an experience, maybe even better, going with a van and a driver. If the trains will operate, and I will update you on that, and if the trains are not too full, of course, I can recommend to go there. So Andrew, you are asking, actually, I went through all that information just in the beginning. I'm sorry you missed it. Maybe later you can watch again. I am going through all, but short answer, you are fully vaccinated and you are getting a PCR test before you travel. So you're doing all correct. You don't need to have to go to a level hotel. You can go and stay at any kind of hotel, not any quarantine or not any testing when you arrive in Sri Lanka. So you are good to go. Bring your vaccination card, fill out the health declaration form, all the links in the description, and you will be good to go. I really hope you enjoy your holiday in Sri Lanka. And another question I want to, if you have more questions, any of you watching live, just ask. I will answer also, and I will, until then, keep going through the questions I already received. So some people, this was questions from people already in Sri Lanka. Some are asking like, where are the live and night parties and where is it happening right now? Because some people in here right now, they are finding their location to be a little bit dead, quiet, too quiet. And that is true. It's still very few tourists in Sri Lanka, so there is not much like normally. There's a lot of nightlife and clubs and everything in the beach places. Now it's quite quiet. Arugambe in the East Coast, they had their season now. It's been very lively in there, but it's coming to an end now around this time. And it will slowly start to pick up now in the South Coast. So if you are here now or planning to come November, early December, definitely the South Coast is the place to be. My favorite, of course, Hikkaduwa, but you have a lot of options also. Unavatuna, Mirissa, Bentota, Ahangama, Veligama. Yeah, you know, Sri Lanka is so many beautiful beach places. So you can just select your favorite. Of the most liveliest is usually Hikkaduwa and Unavatuna, but still quiet in here also, really quiet, but it will pick up. From November, December, January, February, March, I'm sure it will be much more lively here also. Next question, also a lot of people ask are about hotels to book and recommendation. Of course, it would be easy for me just to recommend my own hotel, but that's not what this channel is about. It's not about my self-promotion. I just want to share information. So what I would do if I were a tourist now planning to travel to Sri Lanka, I would just take a very close look at my budget, calculate how much I want to spend on a hotel each night, and then I will search on the online travel agents like Booking.com, Agoda, and all these to find what is in my price range. Because in Sri Lanka, you find everything from like $20 a night until $400 a night. So you have all the price range in every places. So select what is your booking, what is your budget, sorry. And then from the hotel you find there, my personal recommendation, contact the hotel directly. Do not book with these huge money-making machines, but book with the hotel. Not necessarily to give you the best rates, but also to support a local business in Sri Lanka. That's my personal opinion, and you are allowed to disagree, and we can still be friends. Okay. By the way, if you are a hotel owner watching this, I can, in a later video, show you a very simple and totally free way to make sure that your customer can find you outside of the online travel agents without extremely knowledge of search optimization or for a without any budget at all, totally free. You can be found with your contact details on Google. So I will show that in another video. Comment if you are interested in that. Okay. We have someone watching. Where are you from? Let me know. Can you hear me clearly? And is everything okay? Just comment. Okay. I will just continue with the questions I got. Yeah, this is also a lot of people ask. They are planning a holiday in December and January, and they ask me, what will the situation be right then? So to that, I want to say, like, thank you for asking. And unfortunately, this year have taught me one thing, and that is how unpredictable the world can be. Like 2 years ago, I would never imagine that we could ever be in a situation that we have been in, like the government are closing down and restricting every people to travel or do what they want. Like, I would never have imagined this to happen. So what can happen in December, January, I have no idea. And maybe you are asking, maybe in your country, a lot of countries in Europe, the government has always been giving like a plan, like a 1 month, 3 month, 4 month plan, what they are planning about COVID restriction. Sri Lanka government is not like that. They are giving us sometimes 1 day warning, 1 week warning, sometimes no warning at all before they just change the rules and do something different. So I really cannot tell. What I can tell is the situation now is gradually getting better in Sri Lanka. The last big wave here was in August, and it's like, what you call it, fading out. But there's still active cases, like I said in the beginning, sorry, around 600 cases every day. So there's still COVID in Sri Lanka, but it's looking better. And we are now starting to open up for tourism from October 1st, more and more for vaccinated tourists. So from what I can see from my experience, my best guess is that things will stay like they are right now with the rules we have now for a while. I do not think they will open completely for unvaccinated tourists in this year, at least. But I never know. I think we will keep the rules we have now for a while. That's my guess. I have no idea what will happen in December, January. No one in Sri Lanka knows. Maybe the president. Maybe. Okay. And also I get a question, what's up with my funny accent? Why can't you speak proper English? So I am sorry for my English. I wish I could speak proper English. I'm not from England, I'm from Norway. My Norwegian is excellent, I must say. I learned English in school and I've been speaking it, but still before I had a Scandinavian English accent, now I'm doing like a Scandinavian Sri Lankan English accent. So I know it's terrible to listen to. I'm sorry. I will try to do better, but I'm not promising. As I said, my Norwegian is really good. If you are Norwegian watching, you can check out my Norwegian channels. I also give a lot of information in Norwegian. But English is one of the other languages. I speak Norwegian and Swedish and Danish and some German and tikka Singhala and also a little bit English. So sorry for that. Also, a lot of people ask me what I'm doing in Sri Lanka, so I want to just briefly answer that. I've been living in Sri Lanka for 9 years. I am married here. I have 2 kids. I'm planning to spend the rest of my life in Sri Lanka. I really love Sri Lanka. Not to say that Sri Lanka is perfect. It has a lot of problems, but I will talk about that in another video. Most of all, I really love the people of Sri Lanka foremost. I love the climate and nature, everything you can do and explore, like such a beautiful country. And I work here in my own businesses. We run a hotel. You can find a link to that in the description. We do travel agency also. We have been doing round trips and these things for years here. A lot of experience in that field, but at the moment things are slow, of course. And also I'm feel like very passionate about spreading more information about Sri Lanka, because a lot of people have yet not discovered Sri Lanka as a tourist destination. So that's why I'm doing this. And another comment from Mr. Andrew here. He's from New Zealand. Wow. Beautiful country. I haven't been there yet. I've been to Australia. That's the closest to there. But now he's in United Arab Emirates. He's been to several countries around the world, and Sri Lanka has been the best of them. Wow. Up country is better than other parts of the nation. I agree. Up country, hills, tea plantation, beautiful mountain waterfalls. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. But I also love the beach. I'm a beach person also. I love to snorkel and dive here in Hikkaduwa, for example. Snorkel with huge turtles. I love that. But anytime I have a chance also, I travel up hills. It's so very comfortable climate in there. Remind me of Norway in the nighttime. It's a bit cooler. Here in the south, it can be quite hot sometimes. Thank you for commenting. So I'm glad you are here. And if anyone else have comment, also if you're watching this later, you can also subscribe to join the next live, or you can also ask a question later. I will try to answer my best. Okay. Let me see. Did I answer all the questions? Yes, a lot of people also ask me about prices and about transport prices and hotel prices. And it's like you can pay from very low prices for a unregistered not a travel agent, like a unprofessional, to say it that way, driver that can be good and can be bad, or you can pay a little bit more and go with a registered company and get yeah, it's up to you. You can spend, the price is really hard to tell, because you can travel really budget friendly in Sri Lanka, and you can travel like super luxury way, or something in between. Usually I recommend something in between, that you can still see like the daily natural life and the vibration of Sri Lanka without just going to fancy places that can be more like closed from the real Sri Lanka. But just to give an example for transport from airport to your hotel in Hikkaduwa, like a lot of people is asking, I have seen prices now like from 9,000 up to 20,000, and I would say both that all that price range is normal. It doesn't mean that someone is trying to cheat you. It depends if it's a registered company, if they are paying tax, if they are following laws and regulations, if they are paying their drivers a decent salary that they can live off, and if they are working through a hotel and need to also pay some commission and pay someone to advertise for their service. Like, it's depending on a lot of things. If you find some random guy on Facebook that's offering you a drive from the airport to Hikkaduwa for like 7,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, I would never, me personally, again, personally, my opinion, I would never book that service. But if you don't care much about like laws and like international laws and safety and things, then just go ahead. Up to you. Okay, hotels also the same. You find super nice cheap guest houses also that are 100% reliable and really good. At the moment, it's a little bit hard to book on directly on booking.com and Agoda, because some of the cheaper places, especially, when you search for them on the booking online, Agoda, anything, they appear to be open, photos showing beautiful places, everything good. But in fact, some of them are actually still closed, but they don't have anyone hired to like maintain their listing. So that's why it appeared. I had so many guests and people asking for help lately. They arrived in Sri Lanka, came to the place they have booked without communicating with them. They just came there and came to a closed door because they were not open. So If you prefer to book with the online travel agent, make sure you just communicate directly with the hotel, not just the automatic booking confirmation you will get, but that's worthless if the place is closed. A lot of places still closed, a lot of places are opening now, and a lot of places planning to open now starting from November and December here in the south. So I will keep posting videos, keep an update how it's developing. From now, quite quiet. I am looking actually more positive than I have been in a long time. It looks really promising about bookings and people that want to come now for November, December, January, February, March, which are also the best months to visit Sri Lanka. It's the high season and perfect climate here this time. Okay, now I've been talking for half an hour. Oh my God, time to stop. Thank you so much for everyone that watched this live, and thank you so much for everyone that watched the recorded version. You can subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about Sri Lanka and travel in Sri Lanka and hear my personal opinion, plus also my travel tips as a travel expert to Sri Lanka. So thank you, especially thank you to Andrew and Shintaka for commenting, and see you next time. Bye bye.